Hi, my name is Lexi Jong and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do a get ready with me featuring some of my recent Chantecaille purchases. So we're going to get started with the Chantecaille Future Skin, and I have used this before, but I purchased some new containers. So in the past I have used porcelain, and then a couple months ago I got some samples of different Chantecaille foundations, and I started mixing alabaster in, and I like that combination. So I purchased a porcelain and an alabaster. The Future Skin Foundation comes in a jar, and it's an oil-free gel foundation. It's 30 grams or 1 ounce, and it's made in Japan. When you open it, you do have one of these little plastic, lids on here, and you kind of want to, it's recommended to save this to, kind of keep things fresh. I usually keep them for a little while and then end up tossing them. Since I'm mixing these, I'm gonna mix them on the back of my hand. I'm just taking the back of this brush. This is the Chantecaille GSN 5, and I'm just dipping it into my foundation. And I'm gonna smear this on the back of my hand, and I picked up too much. So on my hand, I have porcelain. This one here in the jar is alabaster. I'm just making a huge mess today. Oh my goodness. So I'm just gonna take what's on this lid here and kind of wipe that a little bit off my hand. I'm gonna clean up this jar, I'll be right back. All right, so I have alabaster and porcelain here, and I'm just gonna kind of swirl these together, get kind of a mix. And honestly, I can just kind of go in with alabaster, on its own during the summer, but I just feel like it's a little dark, and mostly, I wear porcelain, so I think the mix is the best. On my face, I do have the Surratt Perfectionist Primer, and that's probably all that I'm gonna end up using. Let's see. This foundation's really lightweight. It actually feels more like a moisturizer than a foundation. And I actually find that I have a little bit more coverage from the Just Skin, which is technically the tinted moisturizer, than I do from this foundation. It's just a great lightweight everyday foundation. If you're looking for something that doesn't look like you have any makeup on, this is it. For me, it doesn't provide a ton of coverage. You can still see some of the redness through my cheeks, but I do love how natural it looks. So I actually have quite a bit left on my hand. Normally, I'll take a much smaller amount and put it on my hand, but unfortunately today, it was one of those days. Things just weren't going the way I intended. One of the things I have done, since I do like to mix this right now, is this was the little sample container I got from Chantecaille for the porcelain. And if you're not sure what color you're looking for, what I did was I did one of those live chats on their website. And the person I spoke with on there, she sent me, 3 different shade samples and so forth to try, so I could kind of figure out what I wanted. And so what I do sometimes is I'll just take these little empty sample containers and I'll mix together the porcelain and the alabaster in here, so it's already pre-mixed and I don't have so much extra on my hand when I'm self-mixing. For the next step, we're going in with the Chantecaille. This is the Camouflage Stylo, and it is a click style pen, and you see you've got this like paintbrush style tip. And I have found that when I click it, I really kind of have to wait for the product to come all the way to the top. Let's see if, yeah, see there's not a ton, and now it's starting to ooze out a little bit. Just gonna use my finger today. I typically use either my finger or the Surratt concealer brush. I really like the Surratt concealer brush a lot, but I just washed it, so it's not ready to use. Just gonna add a little bit more to this eye. Now this concealer pen is very similar to the Sisley Stilo Lumiere. The shade on this, here I'll show you, the shade on this is a little bit more, can you see that? It's a little bit more natural, whereas the Sisley, and I apologize, this is almost out, the Sisley is much more peachy. So you can see the difference in tone. These are both shade 1. So this is the lightest shade for both of them. So personally, I find the Chantecaille shade looks a little bit better on me. The Sisley one, however, I prefer the actual container and delivery of the product. So, you know, it's kind of like a toss-up there, but they both perform pretty similarly. I feel like the Chantecaille might be a little bit thinner. It could be because that's a newer container for me though. The Sisley one is, it's got to be about a year old at this point. It's almost empty and it's a little bit thicker, but it could be just because it's a little older. In general though, both of these products are meant more for highlighting the under eye area. So it helps disguise your dark circles a little bit just by highlighting some positive attributes, but it's not going to provide a lot of coverage. So I really like this type of formula during the warmer months. It's very lightweight and it gives a nice light look to the skin. If I'm using a heavier duty foundation, I typically go in with a heavier concealer under the eyes. My favorite right now is the Pat McGrath. I'm gonna go in with the Chantecaille Perfect Blur Powder, and I'm gonna put this under my eyes using the Sonia G Mini Cheek Brush. So I'm just swirling my brush in here a little bit and just gonna put this on underneath. And I really like using this under my eyes because the peachy tint just adds a little bit more brightening. When I put this on over my face, I do have to be a little cautious just to make sure that the shade doesn't impart too much color. It is a little bit deeper than my natural skin tone. And so if I put on too much powder, I can definitely see it. So oftentimes I'll use this either underneath foundation or I'll use a light dusting on top for setting, which is what we're gonna do today. I'm taking the Beautylish and Chikuhodu Lunar New Year brush. I'm just gonna swirl this in. You can see I'm just getting a little bit of powder on. I'm gonna tap that. And then I'm just gonna do a light dust. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but I can definitely see it really gives me like that soft focus look to my skin. And I definitely have some blurring. So this powder is great if you're looking for a blurring powder. We're gonna go in with the Chantecaille Goa bronzer, and I'm taking the Rephr 24 brush, and I'm going in with a light hand. Let's just tap that off. So I've got this on my brush. I'm just gonna lightly stamp it on. So I'm just stamping first, and then I'm gonna kind of blend out. I think you can see that even on my skin tone, this shade really just has a beautiful undertone, and you know, I go in lightly with it, but it's impactful, and I think the tone itself is very versatile. For blush, I'm taking the Chikuhodu. This is the KZ04 brush, and this is the cheek shade Enjoy. This is the one with the horse on it. And my, what's it called? You know, the overprinting with the glitter part has worn off, but all right, so got some on here, and let's go ahead and dust this on. I had a little bit too much on the brush, so I tapped it very lightly on this cheek first, and then a little bit more firmly with what was left over here on my left. All right, just blending it in with the bronzer so I've got more of a gradation. Before I finish off the rest of my face, let's go ahead and do some eyeshadow. I'm going to move you in closer. For eyeshadow today, we're going to go in with the Chrome Luxe Eye Duo in Piazza San Marco. This has two shades, Pigeon and Marble. And it does have a mirror in here. These are actually really large pans. This is a total of 4 grams or 0.14 ounces. And you can see it comes with 2 applicators. We have a silicone tip applicator and a sponge tip applicator. So the silicone, you can see, is going to be a little bit wider compared to the sponge tip, which is more narrow. We're going in with a light look today, and I'm gonna go first into this light shade. This is the KZ06 eyeshadow brush. So you can see it's a pretty large soft shader style. Picking some up on the brush, I'm gonna sweep this over my lid. That is such a beautiful, soft wash. You could just finish this off with eyeliner and that'd be a great light look. Taking the KZ07, which is a much smaller version, into the deeper shade. Just gonna apply this along the base. And then I'm going to kind of spread what's left up to the crease. So it's gonna be deeper, closer to the lash line. Just gonna get a touch more and add it specifically to the outer corner. And then drag that into the crease a bit. I really love these eyeshadows. They are gorgeous. I love sparkly eyeshadows. This is nice. You can have it very light and have just, you know, a little bit more of a subtle eye look. You can also use these wet as well to get them more impactful. And I haven't tried that yet, but I know you can do that. And obviously I could layer these more to make them a little bit more impactful as well, but I'm going for a light look right now. Let me go ahead and add some liner, and then we'll go ahead and finish the lower lashes. I'm taking the Chantecaille Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner in Violet Damask. Just going very lightly on the inner portion, and then I'm going to press a little bit firmer now that I've gotten to the midpoint and going out. Keep it pretty close to the lash line. Taking the Chantecaille KZ08 brush, and I'm just going to kind of smudge that a little bit. This brush is soft, so it's not going to, you know, do any major smudging, but I just kind of want to soften the eyeliner a little bit. And that's it for the upper lash line. I'm going to stay with this KZ08 brush. I'm going into the deeper shade. I'm going to put this on the lower lash line. Just swirled the tip into it. I'm just going to put this on the outer portion, wiping off the brush, swirling into the lighter shade. I'm going to start from the inner corner here. I'm going to drag this on the lower part, and now I'm blending the 2 shades. And this is it for the eye look. I'm going to add some mascara, and then I will meet you back further away so we can finish my face. I added the GRWM Brow Famer Gel and the GRWM Matte Eyes Mascara in brown, and let's go ahead and finish things off. So we're going to go ahead and add some highlight. I'm going to use the highlight from this Rose Duo. This is the Radiant Cheek and Highlight Duo in shade Rose. For highlight, I'm taking the Surratt highlight brush and just gonna get a little bit in here. I think we're just gonna apply a little bit of finishing powder today, and this is going to be the Eclat Doux. This is the one that came out for the holiday collection 2019, and I believe it is still available. And I'm gonna go back in with the same brush I used for the Eclat Blur, the Chantecaille and Beautylish Lunar New Year brush. This is a softer powder. It's actually more of like a gel powder hybrid. And I'm just gonna kind of put it on and then blend it in. If you buff this in with a firmer brush, you get this beautiful satin sheen on your skin. This will give you a satin sheen as well, but it's gonna be a lot more subtle. This powder also has a slight blurring effect. Definitely nothing as pronounced as a perfect blur powder, but there is a little, softening of any imperfections. It gives a subtle luminosity to your skin, and I think it is beautiful. It's one of my favorite finishing powders, actually. And to finish off the lips today, I'm going in with one of the hydrating lip tints. This is the shade Verbena, which is the berry shade. This is what it looks like with one layer, and then you can kind of build it up a bit deeper. And it's a thin formula. It's, it's a tinted lip balm, but it's very comfortable on the lips. It's sheer, it's lightweight, easy to apply. This in particular is my personal favorite shade, and the one that I use the most is actually this and Beach Rose. So Beach Rose is pretty much clear, so I use that often to kind of top off other lipsticks, and even just, if I don't know what to put on, I just put on the Beach Rose. So I actually use that one quite a bit. I'm running low on that one. All right, and this is my final look for the day. It's nice, light, and easy, and I really like it. You can see how natural looking the Future Skin Foundation is. Again, it feels more like a moisturizer than a true foundation, so you don't have any of that feeling of wearing a foundation. And I know there are plenty of other foundations out there right now that also feel pretty weightless on the skin, but the actual texture of this one, when you apply it, feels like you're putting on skincare versus makeup. So that's something nice. Again, I don't think it gives a ton of coverage, but you could build it up by layering it more. That's just not my personal preference. When you build up the Future Skin Foundation, you can get like a true medium coverage foundation. I like to keep it a little bit lighter, and then I just build it up more on my cheeks where I have the extra redness. I think I gave you my opinions on everything as we kind of went through step by step. But the only thing that was new to me today were the Chrome Luxe Eye Duos. And these are my first purchases of those duos. I've played around with them before at Nordstrom, and I've actually tested them out and so forth. But this is my first time with them, and my first time with this color. Overall, I'm so happy with them. I love the amount of sparkle and shine with them. I am a sucker for sparkly eyeshadows, and I love the shades of this one. They're really, here, let me swatch. Here's Piazza San Marco. I'll just swatch this on my hand here. And you can see that the light shade is kind of like a soft grayish lavender. And the deeper shade, you still have that grayish undertone, but it's like a dusky lavender. So it's purple, but there's definitely like a gray tone to it. They're beautiful, and you can wear them each individually or together. You can make them a lot more vibrant than I did here. They are wet dry shadows, so you can do them any way you want them, but I think they're great. I'll have wear time information down below in the description box, so please be sure to check that out if you're interested. Thank you so much for joining me today as I got ready using my new Chantecaille products. I do have some additional Chantecaille items that I haven't gotten to play with yet, so I will be doing another one or two of these next week, so stay tuned for those, and I will see you soon. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Stay safe and healthy.